Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rising Star. Today we are talking about strength. So, the strength card is ruled by Leo, which is fire energy. Leo is ruled by the sun. So, something is being illuminated here for the person on the strength card. The number of the strength card is the number 8. 8 is the infinity symbol, and it is it represents the Ouroboros, which is the endless cycle of destruction and creation. And so here in the Strength card, it represents the endless cycle of destruction and creation throughout our own lives. Old versions of ourself are shed as new versions of ourself come in, as we are continually expanding, or at least that's what we're supposed to be doing. So the infinity symbol can represent endless growth, infinite potential, infinite wisdom to be gained. There's always more to learn in the human experience, and also lifelong lessons. So on the strength card here, we have a woman, and she's wearing a white robe. The white robe represents her pure intentions. Look at my strength card while I talk to you. And she's pictured here controlling this lion. She's taming this lion, keeping his energy at bay. So the main message here for the strength card is it's the inner battles that we have to fight. We all have different inner battles to fight, and we need to learn how to control different desires, actions, behaviors that we have. So that's what this woman is doing here. Now, the fool has made some progress on his journey here. And at this point, he's recognizing that there's aspects of his ego, his personality, his behavior that need to be addressed. This is being illuminated to him. This is sun energy. So the sun illuminates something for us to address here. All right. So she's wearing a belt and a crown made of flowers. Um, I had another word, growth. It's growth and flowers here. So the growth is represented that the fool has made thus far in his journey, and now there is more growth to be had. We have the green grass and fields below representing fertility, opportunity to grow more. And then these blue mountains in the background show the wisdom that has been gained so far. So, and then we have yellow. We have a lot of yellow in here. This is Leo energy. Leo is ruled by the sun, but also this yellow is the illumination and the positive outcome that can happen when we do achieve this growth, when we do recognize what needs to be changed about ourselves. The fact that it's a woman here taming a lion is interesting because this shows how important it is to nurture ourselves and forgive ourselves for past versions of ourselves. So this woman is approaching this probably differently than a man might, and I don't really mean that as woman and man. I mean that more as feminine and masculine. This is being approached with a feminine energy versus a masculine energy. And if you think about the fool's progression in his journey like this, and think about this with each card. So we start off, well, let's say that the emperor is the first version of fire in the fool's journey. Technically, the magician is. But if you go from the emperor to strength to temperance, we have emperor Aries, strength Leo, temperance Sagittarius. So we're progressing through the fire energies here. The emperor is more authoritative. He is a leader, but he still has lessons to learn. And some of those lessons are what resides within the ego and the personality and patterned behaviors. So then when we get to strength, that is starting to be addressed. And taming that is really, it creates a much more powerful leader, a much more understanding leader, which is where we get to with temperance. Temperance is an angel. So temperance is a much more evolved version of fire who is finding a lot of balance within things, balance between the feminine and the masculine aspects, how to use those in the leadership if we're thinking about him as the emperor. And then also, temperance is an alchemist. So it's learning how to work with different energies to get the results that you want, the outcome that you want. So the fool's in a very important part of his journey right now. All right. Now, the lion here is very important. A lion is ferocious, the king of the jungle. The lion is number one, and being number one like that can create an ego or an idea about oneself that is without humility. So there's a lesson in learning humility with this card. Um, the lion has shortcomings here. You know, he needs to learn how to be more calm and nurturing, like this woman on this card. I hope this is making sense to you. So, a lot of what comes with strength is overcoming our inner obstacles, and our inner obstacles are devil energy. So, anything that you can think of that might be devil energy, like an addiction or a way of thinking, a way of acting towards others, trying to control others, raw passion desires, acting upon desires without thinking about it. It can even be lust, you know, anything that can be toxic to us. That's what's being tamed here with this strength energy. All right. Now, a really interesting thing about this card, as you'll see throughout tarot, and if you've watched any of my other videos, a lot of the tarot cards have some sort of Christian or biblical symbolism within them. So, strength is, I believe this is based on the story of Daniel in the Bible. All right, so I'm going to paraphrase the story of Daniel and the lion's den for you. So Daniel was he was a Hebrew, what do you call it? A refugee. He was a refugee from Judah. I don't even know what kingdom this was. It was like the Persian kingdom or something. Anyhow, Darius was the king of this kingdom. Darius really liked Daniel. Daniel was very honest and loyal, and he did his job well. There were other people around Daniel who didn't like Daniel probably because he did his job well. So they couldn't get him on anything. They wanted to get rid of him, but there was nothing because he was so honest. So these men went to King Darius and they said, hey, you should make a law that people can only pray to you and no other god or human. And if anybody is found praying to you, they'll be thrown into the lion's den. So the lion's den was where they got rid of people they didn't want. And there were I think it was three lions in there. Anyhow, um, Daniel, who was very faithful to the God that he believed in, the God of the Bible, he was very faithful and loyal. He continued to pray. He prayed 3 times a day with his window open. That's what the Bible says. Did they really have windows that closed? I don't know. It says with his windows open, he prayed aloud to God. So the men heard him and they were like, yes, finally, you know. So they go to King Darius and they're like, hey, that law is still in effect, right? And he's like, yeah, if anybody, prays to anybody but me, then they're going to get thrown into the lion's den. And they were like, all right, well, we heard Daniel praying aloud to his God. And so the king's hands were tied, and this was a law that he could not relinquish. So the king went, they got Daniel, they threw him into the lion's den, they closed the doors. There's a whole elaborate thing with it where he used his signet ring to close the doors and all this stuff. It's pretty interesting. You should go read it. And then the king went back and he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, like he was really stressed out about the fact that he had to get rid of Daniel like that. Well, because Daniel was so faithful, an angel of God came and protected him all night in the lion's den. He was untouched, unscarred, not a wound or anything from these lions. And so the next morning, the king opened the doors, and Daniel was there untouched and alive. And they pulled Daniel out, and he professed that, he was protected by an angel of his God. And so the king was so furious with the other men who wanted Daniel killed that he threw them and all of their families in there. And immediately before even touching the ground, the Bible says the lions were already tearing them apart. Anyhow, whether you believe it or not, that's a really good story of loyalty and faithfulness, whether it be to whatever divine source that you believe in, or even to others in your life. Loyalty and faith are very important in getting us through our spiritual journey. All right. So things that we can learn from Daniel is that it's okay to forgive ourselves for for past versions of ourselves, like different issues or imperfections that we have throughout our journeys will always be shown to us, and they're shown to us not that so that we can get mad about it or close off to it or deny it, but so that we can address it, which is what this woman on the strength card is doing here. And taming the lion shows faith in spirit that the lion will not bite back. So there are times in our lives where, despite what may happen, we have certain choices to make. And this is about making the right choices, and walking in faith and believing that things are going to work out the way that they're meant to. So, another interesting thing, which when I'm done with every card in the tarot, we will do how different cards connect, which I kind of went over with Emperor, Strength, and Temperance, but also with Strength, this is Leo energy. Its opposite card is the Star, Aquarius energy. And Strength here is trying to hold something down, hold something within, control something. Whereas on the Star, she's very exposed, she's very vulnerable, she's pouring out the emotions of humanity, the healing waters to humanity. And there you can see the dichotomy if you look at cards like that also. Like, how are they the same and how are they different? Both of them are loyal and honest, but like in kind of an opposite way, I guess, if that makes sense. But the Star is very uncaring about what anybody else thinks about her Strength is caring enough about what other people think to do something to make a positive change here. Whereas she is making a positive change, but she's doing it her way without being the Star I'm talking about, without being swayed by what other people think. All right. So in a reading, strength can represent loyalty, faith, honesty, illumination, strength, courage, bravery, control, confidence, overcoming self doubt, overcoming inner battles, and humility. All right. And a lot of times, like, we all have a fire within us. We just need to learn how to appropriately use our fire. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at here. It's good that we have fire. It's good that we want to do things and that we want to control things and that we want to make things happen and stuff. But we have to do it in a very balanced way, like on the Temperance card. Okay, so in this card right here, so I'll show you. I should have taken a picture of this one. All right, that's the Hebrew letter Tes or Tet. It's the ninth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. So, Tes or Tet looks like a pot with an inverted rim. The inverted rim represents good that is hidden within. I love how this one really correlates with the Strength card. Um, and it also can look like a man bending over like in praise to the divine source. So if you can see even this woman on the strength card, she's bent over here in praise or in honor, in like kind of a humble way. This card or this letter, sorry, this letter also represents the hidden good that resides within a woman's womb, which is very interesting that we have a female on this strength card and we have this feminine energy here who is nurturing, nurturing this inner battle. Masculine energy might handle this differently, but the feminine energy is very nurturing and healing to the situation at hand here. So it represents the hidden good that resides within a woman's womb. And also, it's the ninth letter, which can represent, man, I cannot talk today, which can represent the 9 months of a pregnancy. So something's being birthed here. And obviously, a lot of strength is required to deliver a baby. Now, Tet or Tess also means good or best. So, this inner battle here and controlling these inner desires or whatever it is, whatever our devil energy is, by controlling that, we're trying to become our best version of ourselves. All right, guys, let me know what you think of the strength card. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.